Morning, traders. Um, I tried to post this live. I did something wrong. I don't have the proper attachment. I guess I'm gonna have to toy with it. Like I said, this is new for me. I'm not the most computers computer savvy guy. Uh, I canceled my balance. No. Uh, You can see I came out a little late and I paid for it. Um, just gonna lock in these last two. I could probably get punched out, but you can see where I took the long and hold on, let me get rid of this. You don't need that. These are multiple charts you're seeing right now, but let me get everything down at a play for you because I generally use uh, I generally use this chart right here. This one has been slowed down a little bit more than uh, well, I guess I can show you right here. These are all three of these charts are relatively the same. This is a fast chart. This is like they call it. It's like a 2-1. It picks up the data immediately, and this is more for the scalpers objective, but you gotta be very cautious. It turns quickly. If it's if you're looking for quick hits, somebody who's a little more comfortable with their trading will take this approach towards it. Based on what I'm or what I like to trade, and what I'm trying and what my analysis is all about, is always about the locations. And since I'm looking for something more than a scalp, I tend to use a different chart. And you can see the difference. This is a 2-1, this is a 4-1. And I want you to see what all the differences are. Um, the 4-1, each one tells me a different picture, but yet they're still rolling over a little bit. But this is what I got right now in to my advantage with the last two that I have on. And let's just put just in case. Um, you got a buy zone here just above the daily pivot, and you can see this is this little ribbon down here, and this is the difference of everything. See how price is starting to hold right here, which is a good sign. You can see the 2-1 established a higher pivot low. This thing turns blue. You could trade off of this chart. It'd be another opportunity to get long, as it would be right here. If this locks in blue, then there's going to be probably a fairly good chance that this thing's going to go pretty much back up to the highs. And you can see from my analysis last night, I was dead on about how to play this. That right here is the best trade you're ever going to see early. And you tapped R1 contract high. I think I said this to the T, and it rolled. And this is a R1 reversal short that you have to just take. And now just as they just rolled over one more time off of 73. So they're having an issue at 73 right now. So this thing could come back right down again, down to 875, maybe even lower. And we'll see if it does. Maybe I'll take another shot to the long side. We're losing momentum. That's not a good sign. I could take these off, but I'm going to get hit. So, and that's that. Um, Canceled. Okay. That was probably a bad location for a stop. I don't want to get too aggressive here, but this is a better scenario. Like how this thing stopped right here. If I get another pull up from here, it'll be another opportunity. It's still the pivot. You're in a bull trend acceleration. You do have buying underneath you. Commercial buy zone right here. You have no momentum though. And I use this as a guide also. There's the Dow chart. Kind of gives you, kind of can help you. Uh, let's try, let's try some 9.5s. This is really not smart. You got no confirmation. This would be jumping the gun. Um, yeah, it's not smart. This thing could roll. This I can see. This is actually a bad idea. This thing looks like it wants to roll. Um, nah, I'll leave it on. I made some money on the first trade, and this is way. This is something I would never have my room get involved in. This is just my knowledge, and it would be a guess to anybody else, but this is my over anticipation of the possibility of this thing taking off, and I would once again, you're in a red bar, you have no momentum. It's a no go. I'm getting too aggressive with the possibility of this thing reversing to the upside hard again. And I always talk about let it prove to you what it wants to do. And right now it hasn't proved much. So I'll put one here and I'll put one there. And this is it. This is the trade I'll leave on for now. Once again, I'm sorry I couldn't get this thing live to be. I didn't realize I needed a mic. I thought I could just do this approach and it would go automatic. I'll tinker with it. So you can see the Dow is struggling a little bit and need the Dow to get going to get this trade to kick in for substantial for profit levels. Obviously, I could have taken a handle and been done with it. I mean, I don't really care for this picture right here. I have no confirmation, but I'm gonna, for the sake of my presentation, I'm gonna let this one play out. Either I'm a genius or I'm a fool. And here's the Dow chart, and I can show you this. This is actually, so you can see this low they made this morning, and it came right down to that MA, guys, and it stopped on a dime and bounced, and we're all the way back up here. So once again, moving averages always tell the tail price, and obviously the market's trying to rebuild, and you can see the Dow is also trying to get going here. This thing needs to get over 72, that would be the lock-in bar. Obviously, there's a little sell resistance up there right now. That's how the bar changes every 12 ticks, three handles, and you get a different bar, and or if it's going in the same direction, so forth and so on. But for if you want a change in trend and momentum, that's generally how you figure it out. And I'll show you another really interesting trick if it plays out. Um, the reason I took the long um, right here is, and I'm very aggressive with this pattern on this platform. It's a red to blue signal, and it's usually strong. But here's the difference, and this is also from my experience with this. When price is challenging this hard ribbon like this, it takes a lot more to blow through this. So I always am a little more hesitant at the first one. If I get a second one, I take it. And this was the second one, and that's why I took it. It locked in, and you can see it paid out twice for me, and I got scratched out of my balance. Now the picture is a little more bullish underneath me, but they're dragging right now. Dow can't figure it out. The ES is trying. It's ES price is actually holding with no momentum. So, and this is the difference. Like I could take profit here and be done with it. You know, um, it's that is my style. So I'm gonna let it play out. In fact, let's just be smart. Now I'm gonna put it down to a scratch. I don't want to lose anything. Uh, And this is the difference here. Now, if I, in the trading room, this would be where they be looking to get along. Obviously, I'm already in it, and I still can't get profit. But it's all about confirmation as a trader, and that's the key. And I got to make sure I continue to preach that for all new traders. Get confirmation. See, this is what was hard when I was in the trading room. Is I would take a trade, and most of the traders would be like, "What's up? What was on my mind?" And I don't want people to see what I do and get caught up in it. You can get in trouble for trading that way, and that's why it's important to wait for the confirmation. And let's just see how this is playing out on the other charts. See, you can see all the gyrations in a 2-1. It's just moving tick for tick, and you can see in this chart, I'll have to show you something more when you slow it down even more. And here's another chart, and if this thing doesn't, and this thing's could roll over right here. So you're having a hard time with 72, but this chart, you see how it stayed in a bullish trend for a pretty long time while I was in this, even though it was underneath. And that's the difference between each chart. It just slows it out. It takes out the noise. And what I mean by the noise is, you know, if this thing rolls back to the upside, all this is going to be is mere profit taking. As to why they stopped at 74, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, well, this is why you're moving averages. That was your first test of this pull up, and we couldn't get through it. So this right here is going to be where, if and when the market can get above that level, and I'm gonna get all right. So I got stopped out. I could have taken the profit. I didn't. That's okay. I didn't get hurt, and that's how you pay attention to your moving averages. Probably. I don't want to keep chasing this thing. See, this is why you never play with stops. But it's early in the morning. It's probably the right idea. I'll try it again if I get it. Oh, wait a minute. What am I got going on here? You know what? Yeah, I'll stay with it. I think I should have let that one breathe a little bit. I don't like this picture here. It's there's absolutely flat momentum, but we're in such a bull trend phase, and this once again is not recommended. There's absolutely no confirmation for a long here. I'm just assuming it's going to hold all this commercial buying in here and just sitting around a pivot. It's usually the first area to hold, and now they're going to go, and I'm not going to be able to get on board, and that's fine. So it was just bad stop management. But usually, when you get a couple of handles, it's best to bring your stop to scratch, especially if you're just trading for the two handles. Get them, and get out of dodge. All right, so this is a different. This is where it's going to probably get you a little more momentum. So let's. Everything's going now. See, had the right idea, wrong time. Dow is going. This thing is building. So oh, we gotta get rid of this. I'm not gonna get that. This is so. And this is they're getting over two. They're starting to kick in. Another buy zone about to kick in right here. So you can see why I'm more aggressive around the locations. I would have got those twos, and that's the difference here of turning this thing bullish or for another turn to the upside. And I'm not gonna get it. And there they go. And this would be where most of the class would be looking to get in. It would be two even or better. You got a pivot below you, and you got two bars of confirmation. You can see this thing right here off the 2-1 chart. Look how fast that rotated. I probably should have watched that, but that's all right. And now this is a tough spot. Now you're going to get it. Now you got to fight through the MAs, and but you got to pivot. Problem is, this thing can come all the way back down to 60, 70 even, and still 42.70, and still hold to the upside. So I don't want to turn this into a complete mess. I'll leave the two handle stop in. And let's do this. Go four. I'll just for and I'll show you how. Ideally, if it gets above 74, it should go. But the problem is, it's it's your moving average, and 73 half is. So everything is gonna if it get double top up here, it completely roll down. In fact, this could roll down right now, and this is why it gets difficult when you take a little heat, probably going to do exactly what just said. This is where they kind of toy with you. They get all the retail trade in right there at 72, which is pretty aggressive. Well, it's a lock in. It's generally how this platform sets up with the confirmation. The problem is you have room here, and but I still like the underlying. And there they go. They rolled. Say so. This is just chop right here. That's how they squeeze out. If you had a two handle stop, you probably would have just got hit. And now I'm going to get hit. So you can see there's always complications in trades. It's not a perfect science. Let's see what the Dow's doing. I need help from the Dow here. Otherwise, it's trouble. They don't have any momentum here. I need a Dow. This is all about the Dow now. Dow needs a march. And this is just chop right now. So you can see what's happening in these two charts as well. Let me bring, since I don't use the 2-1 too often, I'll bring that Dow chart over here because this is why I talk a lot about the Dow as well because you can see the connection. I could bring a Nasdaq in on this, but I'm not going to because it flies. So I like the way the Dow and ES trade together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reduce my risk here. Order canceled. Now, this is a really dead bar. This is just chop. All right, so I'm going to just keep this. Now I'm going to raise this my stop a little higher for now. So they roll over. I risk about $200, $250. I'm having a couple winners here, so I'm net positive. And here, it's just a tough spot, you know. Not getting a whole lot of help here. Dow, it's chop, and I'm recognizing it. Got no momentum. Order canceled. So my belief is if it can get above this MA, it's probably going to run to the second MA. And from above here, it's going to be back. It's going to be game on back to the upside, but market's struggling. And Dow here is about to roll over one more time. It looks like, and that's might roll me out. So this is a dead man's bar right here. This is a chop to it. This is the best way to explain it. This is just chop. When you start seeing zigzagging, look at a bar. The bar's trying. I mean, they're really trying. Something's holding it up right here. It's only temporary. I mean, that's the sell came in where that's where the sell off came, and then they're trying to either use that again. They tried to, but they didn't completely follow through. And that's what this ribbon is telling me. Once again, price has it's difficult for price to blow through that much of bullish ribbon, but it can, and you just have to respect that. Right now, they're actually trying to respect this location, and this is just buying time. And this is what sometimes happens when you are below the MAs. They just have this little stall. Is it legit stall? We don't know. I mean, is there something I'm not seeing? It's possible, but that's just how it is right now. You can see how price relates to the 15 MAs. I posted the bigger ones. They're all below us, so no need on that. Looks like the 2-1 is trying to get this little commercial zone right here. That's the key. If this thing could go blue, this thing's gonna take off. But there's just no momentum behind it right now. It's flat. And on this platform, whenever momentum gets above 3, it really accelerates. So this is what you also want to see working for you when you're taking that long position. Look at the difference here than here. I took it here. It was building, but it rolled because it struggled to get above the MA. And usually the first time to the MA is always going to be like that. It's like they tap it and it's like, oh, let's hold on, not yet. And then they roll them out. And then that's how they shake out all the retail traders. You get on board, stalls, you put your two handle stop. They know you got a two. Most of the platforms preach a two handle stop, two handles of profit, two handles of risk each way, risk and reward. That's a general rule. So can't talk my way through this trade. I'm just going to better explain everything and how it plays out, or what you should be paying attention to as a trader. This is just a bad spot. Um, and some trades take a while, and that's all there's to it. Once again, I didn't. I am familiar with establishing the live room. I got to do a little homework on that. Um, it's going to be coming soon. I'm doing this kind of through YouTube right now. I'm going to have to look up. I know there's some place like Meet. I can establish a more professional room, but gotta give me time with that. I've been propping up a lot of analysis for you guys because I think that's important as a trader to first understand how price moves in these markets and why certain areas are more significant than others. And that's why all you've seen from me probably since I've been posting for the last 3 weeks is moving averages and levels. Levels being your pivot, R1, and once again, I mean, the proof is in it. I mean, once again, this is a classic. I talked about this last night, and I got on late, and that would have been probably the fastest. I mean, this probably thing went straight down. I didn't even see it in live action. You could have taken out five handles on that trade easily. But even if your target was two handles, who cares? Take it. Start your day off with $100 winner if you're trading a one lot, $200 winner if you're trading a two lot. The entry on this one would have been right around 76 half, 76 even or better would have been your entry on this trade. It's generally after the second red bar. That's confirmation. And long it's two blue bars like this one was. And that's where this little trade has been sitting. And you could see I would have made money on my original position, and I'd be sitting on a one lot right now. So I think he just said what's important is why I see it the way I do. And just because it's a bull trend doesn't mean it's just going to take off from this location. You know, talked about a lot of stuff going on underneath us, and always got to be aware of that. And as long as we stay below this MA, the pressure is going to be to the downside. But for the time being, they're they're holding on. I don't like this picture right here with the Dow. This thing rolls over, I'll probably get stopped out. If the Dow pushes through, it gets back over 34.2, then I think it could be game on to the upside. ES will always hold more strong. There's so much more liquidity in ES. So you're going to see a lot. That's why when I talk about the NASDAQ, let me pull a NASDAQ chart in. You can see the difference in a NASDAQ. So here is like a fast chart on it. No, actually, even a slower chart of NASDAQ. And you can see the difference. You can see the NASDAQ's trying to roll over right here. I don't even know if we have it's the high 14,482. Oh, so they make it. Oh, so they're making another new high. All right. I'm going to get this out of here. Like I said, you can trade what you want. It all plays out pretty well. I'll bring the Nasdaq chart down in a second to see how, because if I traded a Nasdaq more, and I do take advantage of it, but only at the extreme locations, because of how fast it swings. But we'll take a look at it in a second and see how well it played off its areas. I didn't even notice that the Nasdaq is actually above R3, which is really, really bullish. So, from a trading standpoint, it's like an outlier day. That's real, real bullish. Uh, and I'll show you the chart in a second. It didn't give you much. So this is actually a very positive sign for this position, red to blue. But you could just see they can't get motoring. This is just going to be a matter of time. I just think if it gets going, it should churn. But you know, we're in thin air up here, and you just never know. And they're rolling. So this is total chop. I should probably just get out of this. I'm gonna let it play out. This is just chop. When you start seeing this red, blue, yellow, put your hands on the sidelines and move on. This is just not worth putting anything on. See what I'm saying? And now it's red, blue, red. I mean, they're working a crowd here, and I'm going to get punched out. Recognize that right away. This really is a short, to be honest with you. Uh, Tough short. Really going against everything here. But this is something from my studies on this, has been um, something to consider. It's at the pivot. I you have it. You have a lower pivot high here on top of that, but it's such chop that I'm gonna let it go and just take my medicine on this one and just see a little more information. Yeah. Okay. I can see the writing said. There we go. Yeah. It's chop. All right. So I gave back and get rid of all of that. And we go back on our hands. I'm probably sure, despite a second time, I picked a bad spot. But you know what? It's it's just not a great location. I think this thing should turn up, but you need everything working for you together. And this is a big area down here. This is that MA's down here. If the Dow can't get above it, they take this MA out. We're probably going to roll. I don't want to get caught up. I don't want. I could take this short rate here. This thing is it could brew, but I don't look at all this. Yeah, I got the. It could come right down to about 9 even and double bottom and get everybody jacked out. So I'm gonna let it go. Got all this commercial buying underneath me. I'm not gonna challenge that right now. But the MA and the Dow is pretty significant, and there's a lot of Momo to the downside. Dow is really losing it. So they're testing everybody right here. And let's see how it's holding up. There will be a double bottom right here. If it turns, this could start to go. See how it red to blue. It's into all this negative momentum, but like I said, it's not written in stone. If price gets above that around 160, it's going to march. But right now, this market is really indecisive. But we're still holding the pivot. I just think this is such chop. I think they want you to get short, and I'm going to play this the other way. see. I'm going to take a look at one last thing here. Yeah. Really, this is a mess. There's nothing here. That's as ugly a scenario as you'll ever see right here. So be patient. Don't be too aggressive. I'm kind of caught between a buy and a sell right here, so I'm sitting on my hands. My indicators say short, but if the Dow rolls, I'll consider it because then something else is going on here. And you can just see the battle right here, right at the pivot. All right, I'm going to stay until about 10, and then I'm going to take a break. I just wanted to get it do it on. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for about an hour and early or an hour and a half, and or if I see something significant. All right, this I think this. I'm going to try these. This is deadly um, against everything I'm seeing here, but this is one of these locations where you really want confirmation at this point, and when you're taking longs up here, you probably do want confirmation. So let's be smart. I don't want to teach you bad habits. That's really, I mean, you got negative momentum. You're in a temporary blue to red chop turn at the pivot at a bull trend acceleration. It's kind of like the last spot I want to really take this short right now. But price is still under the moving averages. I just think it's just chop. I just think they're buying time. Dow is trying to hold on. All right, so the Chow Fest continues, guys. Like I said, this market's showing some interesting signs right here, um, but it's not breaking. So I'm just don't want to get caught in it. I think it's a setup, but you can't react to all your instincts. I'm looking for one more double bottom down here at 34 141. This is a big area. This is kind of why I'm curious what's going on. I need to see confirmation that this market's going to roll over, and the Dow breaking 137 will be the first indication right there, guys. That's the MA. Or actually, I take it back. That's a little lower. So that's the bigger number, 34 1. So pretty big deal. See how they're just working a crowd. Really, that's all this is working a crowd. I think it's a long, but I'm not gonna guess. I said it's all about patience. All right, so the Dow's getting. Looks like they're trying right here. See that double bottom breakout from there. All right. Now, if you get a red to blue here, it's chop, but it's long. And this is how they work the crowd. This is how you pay attention to everything, and you don't get turned around too much.
Order submitted.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna try and get on board here on this long, guys, because I want to take a break.
Order filled. Order submitted.
Not advisable, guys. This is just my well, my impatience because I want to get off for 10 o'clock. I need a cup of coffee.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order submitted.
So once again, they're having a little bit of an issue with 72, and of course they're dealing with 3 1/4, which are MA. So this is why you're gotten this, guys. They haven't yet decided whether or not they want to turn those machines on and rip this upside apart. It's usually what should happen when it gets near those moving averages. So, you know, we'll see.
Order filled.
All right, so that's paid out. If you took it, taking your two handles, you can move on. Uh,
Order submitted.
Take that up there.
Order canceled.
No, I'm just going to lock in and just make, no matter what, I'm a net winner. And let's see if I can get any. And here's a see. This is just chop, guys. I'm more aggressive. I see things a little differently. I understand this platform really well. I understand price very well, and I'm paying attention to location and and the ribbon
Order filled.
and look at the payout. That's how I'm scaling. And I had one. That's what I got. So let's just do this.
Order canceled.
72 was the big area.
Order submitted.
I'm a net winner, you know. And now they're right now they are at the MAs. The Dow once again trying to get this thing could roll down one more time to two even. What high did they make there? Four half. They can actually get down to one half. So let's. I'm
Order
gonna do.
canceled.
I'll put it down to here,
Order
and I'll
submitted.
let that ride. What I'm doing is it's a stretch bar. It's made a high of four half. I know that if it wanted to, before it could come all the way down to one half and still hold. They punch me out. They punch me out. It's all right. And the key to all of this was right here. See how they tried to work you into that short, but I talk about how price. So if it can't, that's a whole lot of ribbon, okay? And it's a big deal on this platform. It says a lot about what the market can or cannot do, and you can see it tried, but bull trend, pivot, location, it's a whole big deal. Now, had this thing broken structure, it would have been a different story, but it didn't. It double bottomed, and off they went. Here, take a look at here. Look at Adele. Look at that double bottom. Institutional interest at their location. I'm paying attention to it. For sure, they are, and that's how that's how you want to trade. You want to trade with the big boys. You know, you don't want to fade. You don't want to against the trend too much. Go against them. You're just going to get run over. And that's what happens sometimes to a lot of traders. They get caught up in the excitement of it all and it's moving and they just follow like everybody else. And then the bigs come in and they see that and they just take advantage of it. And this is why I emphasize location trading. I was a little aggressive this morning, guys. But once again, it has a lot to do with my familiarity with this platform and how many years that I've been doing this. So, hope you like what you're seeing thus far. I'm gonna probably take a break on this one. I'm gonna let it play out, and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Go get some coffee.